Imagine a book so intriguing that it's been the subject of study, fascination, and controversy for centuries. A text so ancient it predates many of the world's most revered religious scriptures. Now picture this book mysteriously excluded from one of the most influential religious texts in history, the Bible. This is the Book of Enoch, a work shrouded in enigma and filled with tales of fallen angels, divine judgment, and celestial secrets. Why does this book hold such significance? The Book of Enoch, also known as 1 Enoch, is one of the oldest Jewish texts, believed to have been written during the 2nd century BC. Its authorship is attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, who is said to have walked with God and was taken to heaven alive. This puts Enoch in a unique position, a human who experienced the divine realm firsthand, and his book promises insights from this extraordinary perspective. Now, the question arises, why is the Book of Enoch not in the Bible? After all, Enoch's narrative is briefly mentioned in the book of Genesis, and his ascension to heaven is one of the most intriguing tales in biblical lore. This inquiry is something that has puzzled historians, theologians, and believers alike for years. It's a question that leads us down a path full of historical, religious, and philosophical intricacies. The answer we seek is not a simple one. It's a response that is complex and multifaceted, a tapestry of historical decisions and religious perspectives. To start with, the Book of Enoch was not included in the Hebrew Bible, a fact that may surprise many. This exclusion might seem bizarre since Enoch is a character briefly mentioned in the book of Genesis. Here we must delve into the world of those who were responsible for this exclusion, the rabbis who canonized the Hebrew Bible around the 1st century AD. These scholars and religious leaders were the gatekeepers of their faith's most sacred texts. They held both the power and responsibility to determine what was worthy of being included in the sacred collection of religious instructions, narratives, and wisdom that formed the Hebrew Bible. The reasons behind their decision to exclude the Book of Enoch could have been numerous. These rabbis may have viewed the Book of Enoch as too controversial or inconsistent with their theology. The Book of Enoch, after all, contains grand visions of heaven, vivid accounts of the fall of angels, and complex cosmological narratives that might have been difficult to reconcile with the more established and accepted Jewish beliefs and teachings of the time. The rabbis would have needed to evaluate these factors, weighing them against the potential risk of discord, confusion, or even heresy among the followers of their faith. There might be another layer to the puzzle of the Book of Enoch's exclusion. The narrative pushed boundaries, exploring theological concepts and stories that were daring, different, and to some, perhaps even dangerous. It took a more mystical and esoteric approach to spiritual matters, an approach that might not have sat well with the more traditional conservative religious authorities. They might have seen the Book of Enoch as a threat to the carefully constructed theological framework of their faith. However, the exclusion of the Book of Enoch was not just limited to the Hebrew Bible. The Book of Enoch was also left out of the Christian Bible. This is another chapter in the saga of this enigmatic book, where it came to be considered by some early Christian scholars and theologians. These early Christians were in a period of forming a new faith, a faith that was a continuation but also a departure from Judaism. In this light, the Book of Enoch found some acceptance. For example, the 2nd century bishop Clement of Alexandria accepted the Book of Enoch as a divine revelation. He was one of the leading lights of the early Christian church, known for his broad-minded approach to theology and philosophy. His acceptance of the Book of Enoch showed a willingness to include and consider diverse spiritual perspectives. However, despite the respect and influence Clement of Alexandria commanded, his views on the Book of Enoch were not universally accepted by his fellow Christian leaders. This lack of universal acceptance came to a head during the Council of Laodicea in the 4th century. Here, the leaders of the early Christian church met and decided on various matters of doctrine, including the canon of the Christian Bible. The council, and later councils, excluded the Book of Enoch from the Christian biblical canon. Again, the reasons for this exclusion might have been due to its fantastical accounts of heaven, and the fallen angels. Content that was too far removed from the budding Christian narrative. The decision of these councils once again left the Book of Enoch in a state of limbo, where it has remained ever since. The Council of Laodicea in the 4th century and later councils excluded the Book of Enoch from the Christian biblical canon, possibly due to its fantastical accounts of heaven and the fallen angel. Another question that often arises is, what does the Book of Enoch contain that is so contentious? The Book of Enoch is filled with vivid descriptions of celestial realms, fallen angels, and divine judgment. It provides a detailed account of the fall of a group of angels called the Watchers, who transgress divine boundaries to mate with human women, producing a race of giants. This narrative, while fascinating, may have been too controversial for inclusion in the traditional biblical canon. Lastly, what can we learn from the Book of Enoch today? Despite its exclusion from the biblical canon, the Book of Enoch continues to captivate scholars and readers alike. Its rich narratives provide a different perspective on ancient religious thought, and its mystical descriptions of the heavens have had a profound influence on later Jewish, Christian, and Islamic angelology and eschatology. But here's a thought to ponder. If the Book of Enoch was included in the Bible, how might it have changed our understanding of religious history and theology? Would we view the divine realm, angels, and judgment differently? The answers to these questions remain as enigmatic as the book itself.